Well, the next generation of beef industry leaders gathered in Washington just last week for the NCBA's 2025 Young Cattlemen's Conference. They engaged with officials on Capitol Hill to advocate for producer priorities. Joining us now for a recap, the newly elected Young Cattlemen's Conference Chair, Leoma Dunsbach. A pleasure. And first of all, let me say congratulations on this new role. How does it feel?
Thank you. It feels tremendous. It's such an honor. I'm very grateful.
Well, I want to start with a little background on yourself and your time in the industry. This is something you're very passionate about.
Yes, I am very passionate about what we do. My husband and I are commercial cow-calf producers here in central Montana. My background is I worked for a beef breed association, DNA and genomics. I now own my own company, Data Genie LLC, and we just give everything we can to this great industry.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about that. This is so tremendous. You have your own company. You provide data management, genomic resources to both seed stock and commercial cow-calf operations. Is that right?
Yes, that is exactly what I do. So what we found is trying to take that information and make sure that it really does have an ROI on farm is key to profitability and increasing our genetic progress at rates that we've never had the opportunity to do. So I work with producers every day to just, get an edge on profitability.
Is this the kind of passion? Is this what you love? And is this why you really got involved with the Young Cattlemen's Conference?
Yes, I definitely see a need for young people to step up to the plate and advocate for this great industry. And I think it's so much more beyond, we produce beef. And I can't say enough good things about ranchers out there doing all we can to just make sure that the beef that we produce is the best that we can do. So I'm very passionate about bringing beef to plate that we can show that is sustainable and incredibly well thought out.
So, Leoma, I'm sure this is a message that you gave a lot of the folks that you saw in Washington. Tell us about the trip, really the highlights. What stood out to you?
Yeah, so YCC Young Cattlemen's Conference brought together over 60 individuals from very diverse backgrounds and aspects of the industry. We really became a melting pot of just conversation and idea exchange. And we took that to Washington with us because what can be our greatest strength can also be our Achilles heel in the beef industry, as you well know, that we're so segmented and diversified. But together in Washington, we all came with our stories and we advocated for rural America, just sharing what our part in the industry is and how we can best be a support system to those legislatures from speaking from a place of knowledge and power and definitely sharing. As you mentioned, I shared about our genetics and what we're doing to produce hybrid cattle on the landscape, less water, less resources, less health events. All of those things kind of came out in our conversations. Highlights of the trip were, of course, we got to tour the Tyson beef plant in Sioux City, Iowa, which if you've never been in a plant of that size and scale, just incredible. Five Rivers feed yard up in Conyers. It just, once again, feeding cattle is an art, and to be able to do it on such a scale, it just was very, very impressive. Certified Angus beef in Worcester. I think we all appreciate the value that they add to our industry through their advocacy, for beef and increasing beef quality, helping tell our stories. But just seeing their campus, it was a definite highlight. I think that those key things, as well as being able to interface with NCBA, learn more about beef checkoff and how those dollars are used. I appreciated the whole tour, really. I could go on and on.
Well, it sounds, again, that passion coming through, and you're obviously shining just getting to talk about what you love and the experience that you guys had there. And I'm sure you're looking forward to the next trip next year. I'm sure you're planning on all of that. So we've got to get back in touch with you because there's so much to talk about. But congratulations, Leoma, on this new position. Well done. And it sounds like an incredible experience going to Washington and really getting a lot accomplished there. We appreciate you taking the time to join us. We know you're busy. NCBA Young Cattlemen's. Thank you. Young Cattlemen's Conference Chair, Leoma Dunsbach.